Friday, January 16th, 1964, the sun rose with its usual magnificence over the palms and lagoons of central Florida. But there was nothing usual about the stir it brought to this peaceful resort land. With the first light, Sergeant Allen of the Florida State Troopers arrived at Port Paradise to command strategy for the reception of over 250 newsmen. They were coming to see the world's first underwater movie premiere, the premiere of Warner Brothers' The Incredible Mr. Limpet at Weeki Wachee Spring, Florida. It was still early when the first of many chartered airplanes began arriving with stars, columnists, TV personalities, and photographers. Our newsmen were soon aboard fishing boats, heading out for the river, bay, and deep-sea fishing. These rivers hold surprises even for an experienced sportsman. This skin diver begged to be rescued from a monster manatee swimming next to him. How would you like to play water polo with this fellow, easily 12 feet long from snout to tail? Star Don Knotts, returned from his fishing trip, is the signal for Weeki Wachee weekend to begin. To the eye of the uninitiated, the cavorting of a press junket looks more like Roman revelry. It is, in fact, very serious business called ballyhoo. And these people, though you may not think so, are hard at work.
That's it. Just like so.
Thank you.
It's the nature of their job, too, that keeps newsmen 90 miles from nowhere exploiting every means of contact with the outside world. Trunk line, teletype, and even portable television. Word of these newsworthy events was not long in attracting to the scene newsreel and TV movie cameramen to cover stars and excitement. Everywhere the stars went, there went the cameras. And wherever stars and cameras appeared, there you could be sure of finding a galaxy of beauty queens. And of course, everyone wants to talk to the stars and get it on film for hometown consumption. After a few hours of such interviews, you can see the questions tend to get a little confused.
You didn't make the picture?
This is the silliest interview I've ever had in my life.
Or a late docking outboard motor can play havoc with recording.
My first one, too, but in the sun. Go back! Go back!
A boat coming in behind it.
He owns the place where we say something ugly.
The next day, the weekend's major event, the premiere of The Incredible Mr. Limpet at Weeki Wachee Spring, calls for a veritable convoy. It moves down the Florida State Highway under military discipline. At Weeki Wachee, the mermaids are getting ready to receive their guests. They share the local excitement at this visit from Hollywood. The caravan arrives on schedule, met by mermaids in mufti. The famous Florida sunshine had turned a little juicy this morning, but happily dried and brightened for our cameras to roll. Stars are once more surrounded by the grinding of newsreel cameras and the pop of flashbulbs. The press has a field day. Even actors and actresses long conditioned to public attention seem to get a thrill out of this kind of reception. Don Knotts, Carole Cook, and others pose happily with the local stars of the Weeki Wachee show. First attraction is a trip on the steamer Congo Belle. This jungle river trip is justly famous as one of the high points of the Florida tour. Here is a revelation of natural wonders to capture the interest of all. Our stars and their newsmen companions gape like any fans at this series of magnificent Florida sights. The Congo Belle is a boat with an extra feature, a glass bottom. Through this downside window is a first-hand view of the truly fantastic underwater world at Weeki Wachee. For it is, you will remember, to premiere a motion picture underwater for the first time that all these stars, TV personalities, and press have traveled here. Their curiosity will be rewarded first with one of the most amazing shows of all time, the Weeki Wachee Living Mermaid Spectacle. During the entire 45-minute duration of this show, the girls stay underwater. Now, a strange apparition appears in the center of the underwater theater. It is the special waterproofed motion picture screen being hauled into place. The mermaids seem delighted to welcome the silver screen into their showplace. Now, the formalities preceding the actual showing of the motion picture, The Incredible Mr. Limpet, begin here at the Weeki Wachee Underwater Theater.
Ladies and gentlemen, before we begin this unique presentation of what is really a unique motion picture, I'd like to take this opportunity to present to you a number of distinguished guests we have with us tonight. We're fortunate in having a large contingent of very talented people who made the picture in Hollywood with us tonight, and I'd like you to meet them now. First, the star of the picture, who plays the title role of Mr. Limpet, Mr. Don Knotts. Among the co-stars here with us tonight, Miss Carole Cook. Mr. Jack Weston. Mr. Andrew Duggan. And the model for and the spirit of our ladyfish in the picture, Miss Elizabeth McCrae. Now, amongst our other distinguished guests this evening, I want you to meet the one and only Arthur Godfrey. And I would like to turn these proceedings over now to the last guest that I will introduce, the Special Representative of the United States Navy from Washington, Commander Harold Bishop.
The United States Navy honorary commissions in the rank of Commodore Recruiter to Don Knox, and this commission reads an award and appreciation for his assistance in improving the image of the United States Navy and helping us to maintain the highest quality of enlistment through his unique and inspiring portrayal of the great hero and pioneer and underwater communication leader, the Incredible Mr. Limpet. Don?
I'd like to say this makes me very proud, and we've made a lot of friends here in Florida, but underground or underwater, you might say, I've made some special friends. If you'll excuse me just a minute.
And Don Knotts, the star who plays in The Incredible Mr. Limpet, the part of a man with an unusual affinity for undersea life, is rewarded with a kiss from Weeki Wachie's loveliest mermaid. One mermaid gives the signal for the movie to begin. The house lights dim. Through a curtain of bubbles comes a familiar trademark. No, girls, go back. No one will be able to see the movie. Ah, that's a little neater. And thus, with order restored, the world's first underwater motion picture premiere for The Incredible Mr. Limpet at Weeki Wachie Spring, January 17th, 1964.
You are Henry.
Yes, George.
Is there anything I can do for you, Henry?
Well, I wanted to talk to you about my helping the Navy.
You in the Navy?
And go right to the top level. I don't want to waste any time on red tape.
The response to The Incredible Mr. Limpet was one of universal joy and unanimous approval. Here, indeed, was an event and a subject that commanded the happy and wholehearted approval of this very critical audience. For example, Alex Barris of Toronto said,
"It's a funny, wildly original, imaginative picture with Don Knotts."
Sylvia Scott from Baltimore.
I just saw something perfectly delightful. It was underwater. It was perfectly beautiful.
Rex Morgan from Philadelphia had this to say.
I see a lot of movies, and I'm always looking for one that I'd like to have my children see. I've seen that movie. It's The Incredible Mr. Limpet.
Bobby Wygant, Fort Worth, Dallas, says,
I would say within 10 minutes after the film started, suddenly there was a relaxation and just a feeling of genuine enjoyment about this film.
Mel Jazz, Minneapolis.
It's a very delightful motion picture.
And here's one man who, though unidentified, had an opinion on The Incredible Mr. Limpet that seems typical.
I'm looking forward to seeing it underwater. Or on top of water.
So word went out to the world of a fabulous spot on the sun coast of Florida, of a fabulous weekend at Weeki Wachie Spring, and of a fabulous motion picture, The Incredible Mr. Limpet.